So the topic is tables and graphs. Now, I'm sure you have seen graphs before, but if you have not, graphs help us understand information that we may not understand necessarily in words. For example, graphs help us see a picture quickly and know right away what's happening. Rather than sitting there reading a whole paragraph about something, graphs help us actually understand something in a quick way. They also help us organize our information, our numbers especially. Okay, they help us organize our numbers in a good way so that we can read them quickly and not sit there reading a whole paragraph or a whole book about something. So graphs help us understand information in a better way. Now, I'm looking at your textbook, and I'm looking at page 70 of your textbook and page 71. And I want you to quickly flip to these pages and let's look at this, what this is all about, okay? So if you look at these cards, these 5, they have name. So name, Rachel, weight, 38 kg. Name, Veronica, weight, 39 kg. Name, Tasha, weight, 38 kg. Name, Roy, weight, 43 kg. Name, Yuan, weight, 40 kg. Now imagine this information is here and they're asking us to organize it. So we can organize this information using a graph. Okay? So this is one form of how we can organize, so in a table format, right? So it's a table and it has organized the information for us. Now the question is, the data can be presented in the form of a table like this. So this is a table. We just took these cards. Imagine there's like more than 5 names. This is only example of 5 names, but imagine there were 10 or 20 or 100. We can easily organize our information using a table. So you can draw a table with 2 columns. One column would have all the names. One column would have all the people and their weights, right? So people and their weight. So right now they've organized the information. So they went with Rachel, Veronica, Tasha, Roy, and Yuan. Then they went with 38, 39, 38, 43, and 40. So they organized this information. Instead of just using these cards, they put the information in this table format. Now let's see, how would we present this information in a graph form, right? So they have given us a graph right on the next page. So page 71, and they've shown it in a graph form. So they drew a line, and this line, this dotted line, this helps us see our numbers better and understand our numbers better and our information. So the data can be presented in a bar graph. So this is a bar graph. Okay, look at these bars. So that's why it's called a bar graph, because it's made into bars. So over on this side, we have their weight. So they took this information right out of here on these cards. First, they put them in a table format. Then they put it in a bar graph. So on the side, it says weight in kg. So they put this in kg. And at the bottom, they have the names. So this table helped them actually organize their information. So on the side, they have the weight. And at the bottom, they have people's names. And then they went ahead and then they drew the lines, right? So we have Rachel. Rachel's weight is 38 kg. Now they drew that, so their numbers, they go from 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So they're jumping by 5s, right? So they drew this bar for Rachel. It goes all the way to 38 kg. Now they can't have it at 40 because that's not her weight. That would be incorrect information. So they drew it right underneath. They counted the lines. Do you see these tiny lines? These tiny dots. So look at this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the big lines, that's where they have their 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, all the way to 50. So these small dotted lines, or these small dots, they help them to see where my 38 kg would be, not right at 40, but 2 lines below 40. That would give me 38 kg for Rachel. Then they went for Veronica, who is 39 kg. Then they went for Tasha, who is 38 kg. Then they went for Roy, who is 43 kg. And then they went for Yuan, who is 40 kg. Now, if you look at this bar graph without even reading the numbers or anything, can you tell me which person is the lightest or the heaviest? We can tell who's the lightest or the heaviest person, right? So we can see Roy is 43 kg. So Roy is the heaviest of all these people, right? Then we can look at our bar graph again, and we can see that Tasha and Rachel are the same weight. So Rachel is 38 kg, so is Tasha, right? So that's what bar graphs do. That's what graphs do. They help us see the information quickly. Okay? They help us understand the information quickly. And it's very organized as well, so it's easy to read. Now let's look at the second one. This table shows the number of storybooks read by 4 children in 1 month. So here we have, again, they did the table. So they have names on one side. They have number of books that those people read or those kids read on the other side. So we have David, we have Pablo, we have Lauren, and we have Rosa. And number of books. So David read 8 books, Pablo read 16, Lauren read 14, and Rosa read 10 books. Now here's the question. We don't have a bar graph yet. We have a table of this information. So the first question is, who read the greatest number of storybooks in 1 month? So this table is helping us understand who read the greatest number of books in 1 month. So just by looking at it, can you quickly please have a look and see which person has the greatest, who read the most number of books? It is Pablo. So he read 16 books. Now let's see. How many more storybooks did Lauren read than David in 1 month? So let's look who is mentioned in this question. So Lauren and David. So Lauren read 14 and David read 8. So that means how many more books did Lauren read from David? 6 more books, right? So Lauren read 6 more books than David. Now let's look at draw a bar graph to show the data given in the table. So let's look at this information and let's see if we can show it drawing bars, right? So drawing a bar graph. So I'm going to move my table, this cell phone closer, my video closer, so that you'd be able to see better. Sorry, I flipped okay, here we go, page 71. Let's move this closer so you'd be able to see better. Sorry for the noise. So let's go ahead and draw our bar graph. Okay, so we have David, Pablo, Lauren, and Rosa. So let's see how we can draw this bar graph. So I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to follow what they've shown us here. So look at the bottom, they have their names. So we're going to say D for David, then we'll say P for Pablo, then we'll say L for Lauren, we'll say R for Rosa. Now, David read, so I'm going to follow exactly how they have it here. So I'm going to do 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be my 10. And I need to see, so if the numbers go only all the way to 14, I can stop at drawing my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be my 15. So this tells me the number of books which they read. This gives me their names. So let's go ahead and draw the bars for each person. So David read 8 books. So I'm going to go ahead. I should change this to right here. So David read 8 books. My 5 is right here. So I need to draw 8. So I need to draw my bar right at 8. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is where David's bar would be, right? Right at 8. Then we have to go at Pablo's. Now Pablo read 16. So I should have drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 20. There we go. Pablo read 16 books. Now my 15 is right here, but Pablo read 16. So I am going to start my bar graph for Pablo right at 16. There we go. Then we go ahead and look at Lauren's. So Lauren read 14. So my 15 is right here.